we have such a huge trade deficit with Canada, Mexico, China especially, and then the European Union too. I think the European Union, our trade deficit with them is over $400 billion a year.
Wasn't that NAFTA they had back in '94 with Bill Clinton?
Right.
All right, and then you had another.
And I think that NAFTA stands for, if Family Guy led me correctly, NAFTA stands for Another Afternoon of Tapping That Ass. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
You had something past that too, but you know
either
what?
that or the North American Trade Agreement. One or the other.
North American Trade Agreement.
Okay. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the New World Order podcast. We are coming to you live from the end of the world. I am your host, the Hatman, and this is your other host, Harry the Taxman. How you doing, Harry?
Oh, doing fine.
Yeah, we haven't done this for a long time.
Well, we got new subjects to cover.
We do?
Oh, yeah.
There hasn't been a whole lot going on in the world. I really don't know what
you're... Where have you been?
I was in China.
Oh, what were you doing there?
I was in China on New World Order business.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. That's nice to hear.
So what's been happening in the world? What did I miss?
Oh, we just started a new war in this county.
In this county?
Yeah, well, yeah, we started a war again.
Oh, you're talking about you being a troublemaker. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm not a troublemaker. I'm a freedom fighter.
Is that what you call it?
Straight.
That's what you call it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a freedom fighter.
Fair enough. Whatever you want to call it. All right, so what'd you do this time, troublemaker? I mean, freedom fighter.
Well, we got the courts tied up. It started out with a simple traffic ticket.
Yeah.
Started a year ago.
Okay.
And they still haven't collected the ticket from me. Now, that said something.
So what'd you get a ticket for?
So-called suspended license in the town of Milford. And we got into the magistrate judge, and I embarrassed the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And we got into some suppression of evidence. What else? The suspended license relates on to a thing of statute of limitations. I showed her in the law book. I read it to her, and for 20 minutes I had her going, and she said, "Mr. Klein, you are absolutely correct, but I find you guilty." Is that stupid?
You know what? If I ever found myself in a position of power where I was a judge or something like that, I would relish the moment where I got to say that to somebody. Where I got to say, you know what? You're absolutely right, but fuck you. You're guilty anyway.
Good. That's Pike County Court for you.
So how did you react when you heard that?
Well, she issued a bench warrant.
Okay.
She tried to demand me to pay the ticket. She wanted the cop to arrest me in Milford, but because of jurisdiction, she only could catch me in Milford, no place else.
Yeah.
I went to the sheriff's department.
Yeah, keep talking. I got to turn on the fan. I forgot. Smoke's getting in my face. You keep talking. Go ahead.
It ends up that the sheriff don't might have me on the warrants list. The state police don't have me on the warrants list. And she put me on the warrants list. And like I said, when I appealed the case, I went before the real judge, Judge Chelik. And Judge Chelik told me she don't have the authority to put out a bench warrant.
So the real judge, Judge Chelik, told you that the magistrate judge
don't have the power.
Does not have the authority to issue a bench warrant.
True.
I wish I knew that when I lived in Lancaster, man. They were pulling me in. They pulled my girlfriend in on Christmas Eve because they're like, hey, either you pay or you're not going to get to see a judge until after the holidays.
That's the difference between knowing and not knowing.
Yeah.
And then I told the judge, the sheriff is right down the basement. He don't have a warrant on me. Here's a letter from the state police. They don't have it on me. And you're saying that the magistrate judge has no power to do it? Then what the hell is this? I have a warrant signed by her. He was silent. He did not reply to anything.
Okay. Interesting.
And it ended up that he dismissed my appeal because of timely response to PennDOT.
Okay.
PennDOT cannot prove my suspension because of the statute of limitations.
So let's start at the very beginning, though. When and where did you get this ticket that all of a sudden they're suspending your license for? Because I'm pretty sure you told me the story about this.
Around September, the cops stopped me. They gave me a ticket.
No. But I'm talking about the original ticket. Didn't this originate in New York State?
New York State.
So let's start at the beginning. Tell me about that.
They claim I have a ticket from 2017. And they suspended my license in New York.
And just for everybody's reference, because I know this is going to be archived forever, because it's one of the most popular shows on YouTube right now, the current year is 2025. So this goes all the way back to 2017. Jesus Christ.
And they showed a picture of me behind a wheel of a car. No date, no place, no offense.
Okay, and what was the ticket for?
Don't know. Still don't know.
So what? How can they suspend your license for a ticket when there's no ticket? They didn't produce the ticket? They had a piece of paper with your picture and your plate on it, but what's the charge?
But the PennDOT could not prove the charge because New York State did not give any information to PennDOT, and they were working on false information. Then it goes into the statute of limitations, which is 3 years by New York State, 4 years by Pennsylvania, and in violation of the United States Code 215 of Fair Collections Act.
So basically, you told this magistrate judge, hey, listen, you guys are way beyond the statute of limitations, and her response to you was, Mr. Klein, you're absolutely correct, but I find you guilty anyway.
Yes. And I had 3 witnesses in court with me.
Okay.
And they heard it.
Okay. Man, I wish I had that type of power. Surprised. I would fuck with so many people.
Because I had Black's Law Dictionary in front of me.
I kind of want one of us to become a judge. How long do you think that would take?
What?
For one of us to become a judge?
Depends on how much favors you do for the county. And it's still voted in, but they don't have a law degree.
So what if like I go like plow snow for free for a couple of years? Is that enough?
No, it's only like a 4-month course that you run for magistrate judge, and then
if you have to be elected.
You got to be elected, and then again you have to go for your presiding judge, and he sends you to Scranton for like 4 months. Jesus. Basic law.
Okay.
But you don't get a law degree.
Right. I know you're fond of telling me that district judges are not lawyers.
No, it's like
and you know what amuses me about that? You always say that as if it's a negative, but then you hate lawyers. So shouldn't you have more respect for the magistrate judges because they're not lawyers? You hate lawyers
because what's the number of toll collectors?
So you also hate toll collectors?
Yes.
Okay, I got you. Understood. So this is, I don't know, when you originally told me this story, didn't you say it's because there was a business that was under your name in New York State, but you had nothing to do with it? No, that's a different thing? Okay.
My business up in New York State is far gone.
Okay.
That had to do with the IRS.
I thought, oh, that was an IRS thing.
That was the IRS
yeah,
issue.
yeah. Okay.
But
I thought that like
20 years
they
ago.
told you that you had a ticket up there, and you're like, I've never been up there. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I was misremembering that. Okay. Well, fair enough. So what's going on now? Now
I'm in limbo.
Now you're in limbo, but you
had
a little fun this morning. What'd you do this morning?
I had a letter from PennDOT. The judge found me guilty on the 13th. On the 14th, I filed an appeal. On the 18th, I got a letter from PennDOT. They reinstated my license.
Okay.
And but it costs $90 to reinstate.
Okay.
But because I'm in an appellate division, where everything stops.
I don't know what
now,
that is.
From September to January 27th is a long time. They were hoping that I would give in and just pay the ticket and go away.
Well, yeah, of course.
But it didn't work out that way. So
no,
they put a bench warrant against me, and I sent the bench warrant back to the judge with big red letters. Extortion!
Can you imagine the look on his face when he saw that?
I wish I was a fly on the wall. No, it's a her. It's a she.
Oh!
It's a female.
Oh! Wait a second. Women can become judges?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Well, look at our vice president. What's she do to become vice president?
I don't know. Oh, she was a district attorney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I never put two and two
together.
together.
A lot of people went down the river.
I don't know, man. I'm so happy that Trump got elected because this nonsense has to change.
Oh, it doesn't matter who.
I mean, who decided to put women in positions of authority? Who decided that was a good idea?
Well, equal rights. But you know what? They think with their emotions. They don't have a clinical mind.
Tell me more.
You know.
Tell me more. Keep going.
And you know what? A woman will think with her heart instead of what was written in front of them.
So I just want to say this real quick. So I have a plan for this podcast because we haven't done this in. I think the last one we put up was like 9 or 10 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was the most popular episode that we put up. We have about 500 views.
On what? Which one?
It was called Money Grows on the Tree of Knowledge, and we were discussing the occult origins of money, with the Templars being the first Catholics that could practice usury and all that stuff. And
court or a business. It's a corporation.
So anyway, my point was, that was our most popular episode ever. I mean, we're hitting the big time. I mean, we have 500,000 views across platform on this episode. I mean, that's amazing. Seriously, like Joe Rogan, we're coming for you. Fucking watch out. And we even had a couple comments. You have a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget her name, but we might pull up the comment later, and I'll read it to you again, so we can get your response on it. So, you have a fan.
Good.
Yeah, and then
I want an army.
And then there was this other comment. I forget who it was. I don't think it was the same person. Said, I really like Harry, but that Hatman character started talking about adrenochrome. That's a big no-no. And I'm sitting here thinking, listen, I choose to identify as a reptilian entity that sucks the life force out of children and human trafficked people in order to sustain my own immortality. And honestly, it's a little prejudice to come after me for that.
Maybe she don't like reptiles.
Well, I think that's kind of fucked up. I don't think people should be able to express hate speech like that on public forums. It really upset me.
Well, that may be prejudice.
It is prejudice. It's extremely well, she's prejudging the definition of prejudice. She's prejudging what a reptilian who sacrifices human beings and drinks their adrenochrome for their own immortality, she's prejudging that as a negative thing. So, I mean, what if the people deserve to die? What if I paid a really good price? I mean, you don't know what I spent on these people. Maybe I spent a lot of, maybe I spent over $100 per person.
Oh, that's
that's nothing to sneeze at, you know? And she's sitting there like, oh, that you can't say that. Oh, fuck you. I can say whatever it's the truth. And it's something we've been doing since before the human race even came into being. How dare she judge?
I'm not prejudiced against reptiles.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I think they taste pretty good.
Well,
because I remember when the Navy...
We think the same thing about you, my friend.
Yes. So anything that walks, flies, crawls, or swims is edible.
You're not wrong.
And I remember when a Navy SEAL came back from a mission and threw me a 5-foot lizard to cook for him.
Yeah, you told me that story before.
Yeah.
What was
Lizards don't taste bad. Now they're killing goannas down in Florida, and they're cooking them.
Yeah.
They're like 2, 3, 4 foot long, and they're cooking them.
Yeah.
So, hey, at least you got a useful thing.
Well, I've never tried it because I mean, for me, it's kind of like cannibalism. So I'm not gonna go there. You know, we kind of take care of our own.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather eat the hairless half monkeys. They're delicious.
Yeah, monkey. I never had monkey, but I heard it's not too bad.
Well, the hairless half monkeys, you know, that's what all of you are. That's what I call
I'm
you.
a hairless monkey? What,
hairless half
monkey or an ape?
Hairless half monkey.
Okay. Whatever. At least I'm a chimpanzee.
Right. So here's my idea. So, like I said, we haven't done this, I think, in like 10 months. And somebody is conspicuously missing from our broadcast today. Talking Head number 5 is not with us. Now, I've been in touch with him for over a week saying, hey, listen, you don't have to come up to the compound. We can set this up remotely. You just have to set a few minutes aside so that we can do this on the computer so that we have it all set up when we're ready to go, because he always ends up with these technical kinks that take him hours to research and figure out. And then it ends up being something like, oh, the caps lock is on, and that's fucking up the whole program. You know what I mean? There's always something like that.
Yeah, we're missing him, but you know he's trapped.
Well, here's what we're going to do. He told me, yeah, 100%. I'll get in touch with you later this week. I'm going to get home on Thursday. It might be a little late, but I'll get in touch with you. As long as we can do it quickly, it won't be a problem. Right. And then I never heard a fucking thing from him. Still haven't heard a fucking thing from him.
People disappoint us.
Then I find out that a jet crashed in Philadelphia 7 miles from his apartment. I didn't know it was 7 miles. I called him, and he told me. So I call him up twice. So the whole week he hasn't gotten in touch with me, including when he said he would. And then I call him up twice. He's not picking up the phone. I'm starting to get nervous. I'm like, God, maybe the jet actually did crash right into his house. Because first our mother calls me up, and she's like, hey, I heard that a jet crashed in northeast Philadelphia. That's not where your brother lives, is it? And, I had to set her at ease right. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So I text her back right away. I'm like, oh, he's nowhere near that area. Don't worry about it. I didn't know. I just didn't want her to freak out. You know what I mean? So then I go online and I find out that looks like it's pretty fucking close to his apartment. Okay? So I call him up twice, and he just dumps the call both times. So now I'm starting to get nervous, like, holy shit, maybe this fucking thing crashed right into his building. Who knows? So then I text him. I'm like, hey, man, heard you had a little plane explodey over there. Just checking in. And he texts me back like, oh, yeah, it was 7 miles away from our apartment, but I'm really busy right now. I can't talk. So here's what I want to do, because Talking Head is conspicuously absent from our broadcast today. I'm guessing that if we can trigger him at least 30 times throughout the remainder of the podcast, he'll watch it. And if we can, and I'll put a countdown on the bottom of the screen. if we can trigger him at least 30 times and get him so angry that what we're talking about, he wishes he was here to set us back on the right path. Because, I put in the show notes every time we do this, Talking Head number 5 suffers from a Lefty-Brain Virus. Okay? He's a little woke, let's just say that. Just slightly. All right? So I want to see if we can trigger him by talking about stuff that gets him angry in the way where God damn it, I wish I was there so I could correct him. That's obviously false. And if we can do that 30 times in this podcast, I think he'll call me up and he'll be like, all right, what do I got to do to get this shit going remotely? Let's go. Let's get it done.
That could be called harassment.
You think?
Yeah, that'd be good harassment.
I don't know.
Listen,
man.
Along.
Well, first of all, I mean, nothing that I say would trigger anybody unless they're a goddamn snowflake like him. So I don't see a problem. Also, let's talk about this. So I pride myself on being very, very apolitical. Okay, so I'm not voting in the presidential election, which
You're a ghost.
Yeah, we just had, it was November 5th, right? Was the election day?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Okay, so today's February 4th, I believe. Or 5th, or 10th, something like that. And so I'm not going to vote. I mean, I'm paying attention and, I'm listening to some funny shit about, for a while, it looks like everybody thinks, oh shit, Kamala might win. Oh my God, she's actually doing really well. And then Trump is like all scared and everything because all of a sudden he has a new opponent and he didn't have any talking points thought up for her or anything like that. And so what he ended up doing was just transferring all of his talking points that he was going to use against Joe Biden over to her. And surprisingly, they worked. Everything that he was going to say about Joe Biden, he said about Kamala Harris. He didn't write a new script, and it still worked. So his insults that he was going to throw at a senile old man that had no business ever being president anyway, he used the same insults against an intellectually elite person who used to be a prosecutor. I assume you have to be pretty smart to do that. And every single joke worked. That's amazing. What does that say about Kamala?
She was a political hack. She sold.
Oh my gosh!
She sold her own people into jail.
She did.
Oh yeah, because
this sounds like 100% fact. I'm not even going to research this because I remember hearing something about this on the internet, so it's got to be true. Tell me about this.
It was small marijuana charges against black men.
Okay.
And she put the full weight of her office and put these black guys in jail.
So what you're saying is she's racist?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, go ahead.
And she put the full weight of the law against these young black men that was caught with maybe an ounce of pot, maybe a joint, and put them in jail.
Okay.
But meanwhile, her friends that did a hell of a lot worse, she cut them loose.
Oh, so she was racist unless you did her a favor.
Unless you were in her clubhouse.
Wow. What else did she do during her time in that office?
It was very unfair the way the law was.
Yeah. Well, what else? Give me some examples.
Well, she saved the friends in the corporations that were going to get her into being vice president.
Really?
And believe me, the old joke is she got through by being on her knees.
Whoa! Is that true? Is that how she got to her position?
That's what they say.
Oh my goodness!
But she was married to Montel Williams.
Oh my goodness!
25 years ago.
Montel Williams?
Yeah, the TV host.
That's so weird. Really?
Yes. She that was her husband at one time.
Oh my God!
And she went up the ladder.
Jesus Christ. So she's kind of like a showbiz broad that just used her showbiz connections to get in some kind of political office from her popularity.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. And I mean, that's really, if somebody uses their cultural popularity to try to navigate their way into
Upwards.
office, in the public office where you actually have responsibility and you can actually hurt people's lives, that's really gross.
So it's a misappropriation of power.
So what I was going to say was, I'm apolitical and I wasn't going to vote, and then I found out that Trump won the day after the election. I was watching the news and I found out that he won, or looking on YouTube. I don't watch the news. And I have to be honest, I felt a sense of relief. Like, I didn't even know I felt this way, but I was like, that's the best man for the job.
Lesser of two evils.
I wouldn't even say that he's an evil. I mean, this guy has already done the job, and he already did a fantastic job the first time, despite all of the hurdles that everybody in the media and in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, in spite of all of the hurdles that they threw at him, he still did a fantastic job. I mean, he didn't enact one single policy that I disagree with. Like, everything had other people's best interest at heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you are as powerful as your enemies are. And he had many enemies.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you're a threat to the system and you have a lot of enemies, that means you're telling the truth and you are a threat to the system.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you're in a place as corrupt as Washington, D.C., and nobody wants to play ball with you whatsoever, that means you must be an extremely righteous human being. I mean, that's the only explanation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I see it.
Well, you don't want to play this stupid game.
Right. Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I mean, what's the type of person that wouldn't want to play ball with these people to make a lot of money? It's the type of person that is not going to be bought.
Or maybe a person that has strong principles.
Right. Exactly.
And will go 100% on the commitment that they make.
Right.
And if you get that kind of person, you can't buy them.
Right.
You can't wear them down.
Exactly.
You got a choice: ignore them or kill them.
I think Trump might end up being going down in history as the greatest president we ever had. And no, I mean, beside Lincoln, I mean, Lincoln's a tall order, okay? But even so, he might, because the country is way more divided now than it ever has been, and that includes during the Civil War. Yeah. I mean, it really does. It's way more divided now than it even was during the Civil War.
No, the Democrats are licking their wounds, and they're still trying to take him down, and he's in power now. And the people that he's putting in his cabinet and all, look what the Border Patrol's doing.
Yeah. My God, they're doing such a fantastic job. I mean, 500 arrests in like the first 2 days.
Yeah.
And all of them are violent criminals. Every single one. They're all pedophiles and gangbangers and drug dealers and weapons runners and thieves. I mean, there's not one of them that's actually a decent human being. It's crazy.
Well, New York has been catching a lot of them, but not in Manhattan, but in the Bronx.
Yeah.
In the project.
Well, you and me were watching a documentary on that on YouTube. Yeah. So, I mean, every single thing that the guy said is 100% accurate.
Here's something I want to see.
Yeah.
The mayor of Newark said, if ICE comes here and Border Patrol tries to take these citizens away, I'm going to order my cops to arrest ICE.
Yeah, you're talking about Newark, New Jersey, right? Newark. Yeah, not New York, Newark.
Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And these sanctuary cities, and then the guy who got appointed, Border Patrol, says, well, if you get in my way, I got a set of cuffs for you, too. Now, I would like to see the local cops, who are so-called citizens that are for law and order, tell a Border Patrol, we're going to arrest you.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's going to be a little revolution in the police department against the mayor.
Ooh, you think?
I love to see that.
You think that could actually happen? Like the police would just be like, you know what? You've been tying our hands.
You've been tying our hands
for way too long.
We've been arresting these people, and
you just letting them right back out.
Your judges have been letting them loose, and we repeat them, and we arrest them again and again.
Yeah.
Finally, someone's doing something. We're not going to take your orders.
And you know what I looked up? This is 100% a fact. Every single illegal immigrant that they've arrested for the last 4 years for doing some sort of crime, they don't even bother to prosecute them. They just let them right back out on the street. Every single one, 100% of them.
They arrested.
It's crazy, and that is 100% a fact.
They arrested one in the Bronx was wearing ankle bracelets from the federal courts.
Jesus Christ!
Now, why didn't the U.S. Marshals go after him? He was wearing ankle bracelets.
Yeah, exactly.
That's felonies.
Exactly.
That was serious.
Yeah.
Now, what about that judge? What did that judge do to let him walk out with an ankle bracelet?
I guess he just let him go, right?
Yeah.
How you liking this podcast so far, Talking Head? Hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, I'm assuming they just let him go, just like they do everybody else 100% of the time. They just let them all go.
Well, that's the judges. I think the judges are political hacks myself.
Yeah.
I see what the judges do. They don't want to obey their own laws. And when somebody comes up and points out that law, and that's misapplied to these people, the judges ignore you.
Well, then you have all these George Soros appointed prosecutors. I mean, he's basically hand-picking them. And he's just putting criminals back out on the street, hand over fist. I mean, and if you're an illegal immigrant when you get arrested, you have a 0% chance of conviction. He just lets them go. I mean, it's fucking nuts. And what do you think his ultimate game could possibly be? Is he just trying to destroy the country?
Yes, George hates this country so much.
Why does he hate the United States?
Well, you got to go way back and check his history.
I mean, didn't he make all of his money here?
No.
Where did he make his money?
He was the banker for the Nazis, and he's a Hungarian Jew.
George Soros made his money off the Nazis.
Yes.
And he's a Jewish person.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that. My God. I kind of feel like I was about to look that up, and I was like, no, that just clicks. That just sounds right. I mean, that makes sense to me. I mean, when you said that, all of the pieces fell into place. Like, all the questions that I had about him, like why he's an evil bastard and everything, and you told me that piece of information, and it just all clicks. That's why he hates this country. And he's probably a little scared about getting prosecuted for trading with the Enemies Act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they did that with somebody. Oh, I think George Bush.
Yeah. George.
He was.
What was his name? It wasn't George W. and it wasn't George Bush Sr. I think it was George Bush Sr.'s grandfather or father? Grandfather.
He was building the trucks and allowing the gasoline to go into Nazi Germany.
Well, not only that, but he was actually hiding their gold in his bank.
Yeah.
I mean, he was trading.
Well, what about that guy, that Latin guy that just got sentenced to 15 years, that senator in Jersey?
I don't know anything about that.
No, the Mantez, something like that.
Tell me more, my friend. Tell me more.
He's going to do 15 years in jail.
Yeah.
He was a senator.
Yeah.
Corruption, they found him, and he still claims he's innocent. He was set up.
Interesting.
I got $15 million worth of gold in my safe, and you set me up with that? Come on.
So what exactly is the crime they're saying he committed?
He was getting paid off by the builders of New Jersey.
Okay.
Bribes, all kinds of stuff like that.
In gold?
Yes, he was getting paid in gold.
Who?
No cash.
What gangster has gold?
A lot of gangsters have gold.
Sounds right to me.
The drug dealers down in Florida do.
They trade in gold?
Yeah.
Wow. No, isn't this... So this is kind of like the John Wick movies, where they have the gold coins that they use for currency instead of cash money.
Yes.
So
Can't be traced.
So what you're saying is the John Wick movies are actually based on reality with the cartels in Florida.
Everything's gold.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that. That's wild.
Cash is only paper. Gold is the international value.
So are they like pressing their own gold coins, or are they using
they're gold bullion.
They're using bullion.
The bricks.
Okay.
They weigh 27 pounds, and they're like $250,000 on each one, or maybe $27,000 on each one.
Oh my gosh.
That's why the IRS now is on the tax forms. They want to know about your crypto coins.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's on the forms.
You have to put it on the forms now. How much cryptocurrency?
Any physical money you have.
And any physical money you have.
Yes.
Okay. So isn't Trump trying to get rid of the IRS? I mean, you must have flipped out when you heard about this.
He wants to trade the title IRS into external tariff.
No, well, it's ERS, External Revenue Service.
Right. External. That means they're only going after tariffs. So is he doing away with the Internal Revenue Service? Okay.
It looks that way.
If it does that, what about the people that have paid into the system that got screwed, got put in jail or got fined, and they took their houses away for their so-called income taxes? Trump is like saying income tax laws were a fraud to start off with since 1913.
Yeah, he is actually saying that.
So therefore, do you have a right as a citizen to... Who are you going after, the IRS or the U.S. government for allowing this?
Right. No, that's a good question. But, I mean, he did on the first few minutes that he was in office, he did pardon everybody from January 6th.
Yes.
And we all know that there was absolutely no violence on January 6th from the protesters. Any of the violence was from the police.
Well, and the FBI that was in the audience pushing it.
Yeah. Yeah, they had it wasn't a false flag operation. What do they call that when they have bad actors in the group?
They're bad actors.
Yeah, so what do they call that? There's a fucking phrase for it. God damn it, I can't remember it.
But they were inciting the riots.
Yeah, they had undercover FBI agents.
Go into the door. Go in there. Look at these people.
Yeah.
Go in there. And what about the cops that were opening up the gates?
Yeah, exactly. There were cops opening up the gate. And then you look at the footage where these guys are get into the Capitol building, and the cops are like giving them a tour.
Right.
They're giving him a tour.
The guy with the head, Jim?
Yeah.
Right.
And then these guys all get arrested and they put on like fucking life sentences or some bullshit.
No, they use the Sedition Act against them.
Right.
Which goes way back to the colonial days.
Exactly.
And British.
So, yeah, go ahead.
They use a federal law that was misapplied to the sentence.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Trespassing, yes.
Sure.
Destruction of property, very little destruction of property.
Well, most of the destruction of property was from the cops.
Yeah.
I mean, they were smashing shit up. You can see it in Tucker Carlson's videos.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was there, so nobody could tell me not what I didn't see.
Yeah. And
I was there with my flag, and I got eyeballed, too.
Yeah.
I know I got
I'm sure. I'm with your flag, with an upside-down Nazi symbol, upside-down flag with a Nazi symbol and the letters IRS over it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you got flagged. They got your face on facial recognition, motherfucker.
They didn't come knocking on my door.
I'm surprised, too. But at least you know that you would have only spent 4 years in prison, unjustly sentenced, because as soon as Trump came in like a goddamn hero, he let all those guys out. They're all innocent. They didn't fucking do anything.
Oh, or they misapplied some heavy-duty laws on them.
Right, just like they did with Trump.
Yeah.
They're turning misdemeanors into felonies through legal ninjutsu. You know? Hey, dude, if he got convicted of a felony, doesn't he automatically not able to become president?
No, don't say nothing in the law about felonies.
There's nothing in the Constitution about that, because I know if you're a felon, you can't vote.
Treason Act.
If you're a felon, you can't vote, but you can still become president?
As far as the Treason Act, if they prove that you created treason, yes, you cannot be president, but they have to prove it in Congress.
Now, weren't they trying to prove that he committed treason with the January 6th thing? Weren't they trying to prove that too? Because he incited...
He so-called incited the riots. But he said, go in peace. Go protest.
Yeah.
In peace.
Right.
He didn't say raid the house. Didn't go in there. He didn't say that at the hearing.
Exactly.
But people got emotional, and that's what they did.
So my point is that if Donald Trump, on his first few minutes in office, releases all the innocent people from the so-called January 6th insurrection, it stands to reason that if he abolishes the income tax, all the people that are in prison because of tax evasion or tax fraud, don't you think he'd let them out as well?
Pardon them?
Yeah, I think he would.
What about reinstall what the IRS took away from him?
I think that is tantamount to reparations. I don't think the government has the money to do. You're talking about going back, I mean, for a long time. Who's the oldest guy in America? Let's say he's 120 years old, and let's say he worked for 100 of those years. You're going to have to give him back 100 years worth of taxes, and you're going to have to do that for over 300 million or over 200 million working citizens. That's a tough nut to crack.
The IRS agents that prosecuted him.
Oh, what I do know for a fact that he would do, if he abolishes the IRS, he's going to throw all those IRS agents in jail. And he can legally do that 100% without a doubt. Well, I think he's going to arrest him.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
I got my list. I got the directives, and I got proof.
Who's on your list?
Because I faced every one of them.
Who's on your list?
Oh, I got the one that was in Wilkes-Barre. I got the lawyer down in 26 Federal Plaza. I got the list.
And these are all the people that were fucking with you during your...
these are the people I fought for 8 years.
Right, when you were going up against the IRS.
But how come they leave me alone now?
Well, it's obviously because you won. I mean, if you won, you won. You got all your money back. I mean, you won. What else do you want from them? What are they going to do? Keep coming after you? You won.
Right.
And you won in federal court. They can't come after you. It's illegal. They know that.
It's a waste of time.
Well, not only that, but you won. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to reopen your case? I'm pretty sure it's illegal to open a case that's been closed.
Well, Trump also is redoing the Department of Justice, and some of those people in the Department of Justice don't deserve that job.
The Department of Justice and the FBI, leading up to this election, was so politicized and so weaponized. It was disgusting. It was really gross. Never seen anything like that before. I mean, he told them, they're like, hey, you got documents that we got to make sure they're secure because they're classified documents. And he goes and tells them, come on over anytime, just let me know. And then they go ahead and they raid his home with guns. They make a big fucking show out of it. And they don't even find anything. Like everything was fine. Everything, and then Biden, the same thing happens to him, and they're like, no, everything's fine, he's cool. But they go ahead and accuse Trump of having like documents in his bathroom and shit. It's bullshit. Yeah, Biden didn't secure them.
It was next to his Corvette.
Yeah, Trump did.
His fabulous Corvette, and they were in boxes in his garage. You could have robbed them.
Exactly, and Trump actually did have those documents secure. And then they go ahead and they drag him in the court anyway. But when they find Biden, he had no secure documents. What happened to him? Nothing. Yeah. Nothing at all.
Nothing.
Yeah, well, he because he plays the game.
Like I said, I like to, because Trump pardoned all the guys from January 6th, let's go after the January 6th committee.
Yeah.
Everybody on that committee for putting false information and false arrests on these people.
Yeah.
because Black Lives Matter was down there.
Ooh, don't get me started on them.
And I seen them in the bushes turn their hats around and put their mega hats on and try to incite the riot.
Is that right?
Yep.
So you saw BLM protesters
No.
Switch hats to MAGA hats,
Right.
and then try to incite violence during Trump rallies.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, where did you see that?
Down near the mall in the bushes.
I believe you 100%. I mean, that just makes sense to me.
I met Jim.
I have no question.
I met Jim with the Buffalo Head. I met the Proud Boys, and I met the Oath Keepers.
You met the Proud Boys?
Yeah.
That is an interesting organization. I have to say, I really do feel like they're doing good work. They are pro-America. They are pro-American. And this whole theory that somebody told me about, I forget his name. You ever hear of this theory, the Great White Replacement theory?
No.
You've never heard about that?
No.
Yeah. So this is something that liberal excuse my French, libtards, they go ahead and they tell each other about people on the right. So what they tell each other about us, okay? They tell each other stories. So here's what the people on the right are trying to do. So the people on the right are scared that the lax immigration laws and the open border, what the government's trying to do is replace all the white people with brown people. They're trying to replace us. So what we have to do is we have to start having as many babies as possible so that we don't get overrun by the brown people. It's totally ridiculous. I've never heard of this theory until a libtard told me about it. And I was like, dude, I am friends with a lot of right-wing people. I'm actually pretty happy that Trump is in office, and I've never fucking heard this before, so I don't know where this is coming from, but it sounds like a story that you and your friends are telling each other about us.
Right.
Okay? It's like Hitler and the Nazis getting together and be like, you know what the Jews did?
Yeah.
The Jews, they drink blood from Christian babies with straws. Why don't you go ask the Jews? Go ask the Jews what they do. Maybe go ask them. Maybe they'll know better than the Nazis know.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking bullshit, man.
Well, that shit about the Nazis and the babies and all that comes from Rabbi Finkelstein.
Okay.
Rabbi Finkelstein is a little bit of a radical.
Rabbi Finkelstein. So Rabbi Finkelstein, I think I remember this. He was promoting drinking Christian babies' blood with straws?
And using babies in McDonald's hamburgers.
Really?
And and we're supposed to be the servants to the Jews, but he's one of those radical Hasidic Jews.
Right. So is he one of the authors of the Letters of Zion? I know that's legit. I looked into it. That's not a conspiracy theory.
He's somehow connected.
Wow.
That I'm not sure, but how many Oath Keepers do you know?
What you talking about? That Christian organization?
No, the Oath Keepers that were in January 6th.
I don't know what that is.
The Oath Keepers are the former military, police, fire, and all of them that took the oath to the Constitution.
Okay.
How many do you think they are?
How many police who took an oath? I don't know. I don't have no fucking idea.
Thousands of Vietnam veterans are Oath Keepers.
Okay.
But they're not in the open.
Well, listen, I took an oath to uphold the Constitution when I worked for the post office.
Yes.
Am I considered an oath keeper, or is this a specific organization that you're talking about?
Specific organization.
Okay, so I don't know anything about this.
No, but if you went to support the Constitution, you can become an oath keeper. But if you join the Oath Keepers themselves, they're basically military and police.
Okay.
And I know a lot of them.
So what about them?
That they never forgive it. They never forgot the oath, and they're still holding it today.
So why did you bring them up though? What are you saying about that?
Because you don't know who the oath keepers are.
Oh,
they may be among
so
you.
basically your point is that there's a bunch of badass motherfuckers with guns
just waiting.
And once these liberal radical Marxists go too far, trampling on the Constitution, these guys are going to come out of the woodwork.
We're coming out of the woodwork, baby.
Yeah.
And we're not taking no prisoners.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, so I'll tell you what, when I was working in Tennessee, when I was helping out that photo studio, the boss was telling me that when they were getting ready for the riots, the George Floyd riots, and all the businesses were getting ready to board up in there, and all of a sudden, the streets were full of all these motherfuckers with guns and like pickup trucks and shit. And she I forget what she called. I think it was the Proud Boys. I'm pretty sure it was the Proud Boys. They do good work, and they were just on the streets guarding all the stores, making sure shit. And dude, some people started protesting, and they saw those motherfuckers. They turned around and left. They left.
But they left the little brown stain in their pants before they left.
I'm hoping there was a distinct smell of coward shit. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, you don't know how many Americans are really ready to stand up, but they haven't been pushed that far yet.
Well, it's getting close.
Yep.
It's getting close. Thank God that Trump is in office now, because finally this nation can get back to its roots, which before, I mean, let's be honest. Before Obama, America was fantastic from the signing of the Constitution right up until, and I know there's some things we disagree with,
right,
but it's a fantastic country, and it gets better year after year. We very rarely make any mistakes, and until Obama, we were on the right track. Everything made sense most of the time. And then Obama comes into office. It's like we got derailed with all this DEI nonsense and all of this crazy bullshit. And I was wondering where it was going to stop. And that's why I'm saying, and then I found out that Trump won the election. And I didn't even realize I felt this way. I was driving in my car. I had a YouTube video on. Turned out he won. And I just I had all this tension in my body. And I didn't even realize it was there. And I just exhaled. And I didn't even realize I felt this way. I was just like, oh, thank God. The craziness is over.
Maybe you realize the fact that if we would have had 4 more years of Biden, there would be a civil war in this country.
Or Kamala.
Definitely.
Or Kamala.
Well, mostly Kamala, because Biden would be in a nursing home by then.
Yeah, but somebody was running the country. Who was it? There was a lot of crazy shit that got passed under his administration that he doesn't even remember signing. And I know this for a fact. There was somebody, I watched it on a podcast, so I know it's true. This guy was like, hey, man, I want to talk to you. He had an audience with Biden for some reason. He said, I want to talk to you about why you signed this bill. And he's like, oh, what is it? And it was something crazy. And Biden read it, and he's like, I don't remember signing this. How do you fucking not remember signing a bill?
No, he's probably in a nursing home now, or he should be.
I think he is. I hope he is. It's a little cruel to make him dance around like a fucking show pony when he is barely conscious. He's barely there.
Well, that's what's going with this country. But I wish people would wake up.
Yeah.
Realize, smell the coffee or get pinched by the rosebuds.
And also, didn't he have major brain surgery 20 years ago?
That I don't remember.
No, I heard this. I heard it on a podcast. So, this is a fact. They actually had, you know why his forehead looks all weird? And he looks like he had plastic surgery, you know? Now, what happened was he had a brain tumor or something, but they could operate on it. So what they did is they had to actually cut off the entire top of his skull to do the brain surgery. And then they put, like Frankenstein, they put it back on like a lid. And then they had to pull his skin up. Oh, that's why he looks like he had like plastic surgery. You ever notice like his forehead is like really... Yeah, exactly.
That stretched skin.
Yeah, his forehead's like... It's, yeah. Exactly.
Stilla had so much surgery, she made a lot of doctors rich.
Right. But his forehead's completely smooth. He looks like he gets Botox. But it's actually because he had brain surgery and they had to pull his skin back up over his skull. I mean, it's wild, man. And this guy was our president? And then he's senile to boot. And how long do we just let God knows who run the country under his... Hey, Mr. Biden, President, sir, I need you to sign this. What is it?
Don't worry about it.
It's to make Americans happy. Oh, I want Americans to be happy. I'll sign that. And then he just signs it. I don't even think the motherfucker knows how to read anymore.
That's possible. But like I said, at least this country is going to go back to what we were great.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But
look at all the executive orders that he signed. Now, here's my favorite. And I think that this is probably, other than freedom of speech, this is probably the most important executive order that he signed. The Gulf of Mexico? Give me a fucking break. Who owns it? A lot of people don't know this. Who owns the Gulf of Mexico?
Now it's the Gulf of America.
That's right. You know why? Because the fucking United States owns the Gulf of Mexico, so why is it named the Gulf of Mexico? I mean, this is the type of bullshit that we've been dealing with for a really long time. I mean, in that mountain that they took away the president's name and they gave it an Indian name. What the fuck? Listen, if you don't love it, leave it. Love it or leave it, okay? Either you're an American citizen or you're not, okay? That's the way it is. And I mean, we can't keep making allowances for these fucking people that think they have some sort of eminent domain over the land that we were already here. I mean, it's fucking stupid.
Well, that's what politics are all about.
Yeah.
So therefore, anyone who tries to correct it automatically becomes a enemy of the state.
Right.
And now you're the crazy one.
Oh, yeah.
And if you end up fighting them and trying to prove it, they'll throw all kinds of bullshit your way.
Yeah.
Just to shut you down.
Sure. 100%. And all they're doing is it's like this subterfuge, this just pandering to this Marxist ideology. It's basically, you can sum it up as hate yourself if you're white, because you're born racist. It's tantamount to original sin. Love yourself if you're not white, because if you're not white, you're righteous because you suffered under the white man. So it doesn't matter if you've accomplished jack shit. You're a great person. And hate America. So hate whitey and hate America. I mean, that basically sums everything up.
Why are they coming to this country?
I have no idea. I think they're trying to take it over.
Yeah, of course they're trying to destroy this country.
I mean, like, you look at the Muslims that are coming over here, and they're trying to institute Sharia law in parts of cities. I mean, you heard about this, right?
Up in Minneapolis.
Yeah, and the fucking governor's hearing them out.
Well, like I said, I've seen the Jewish people in Borough Park have their own patrol. I've seen in one of the towns up in New York State, where they got the Hasidic Jews, they got their own patrol.
Okay, so what is the patrol? What are they doing?
They do their safety patrol.
Okay.
Now, my friend Ed went up to do some job.
Yeah.
They stopped him.
For what?
He was going to do a work for a rabbi, and this patrol got the short light on and stopped him. What are you doing here? These are the Jews with the long coats and the curls, and
You know what I would have said? I would have said, fuck off, none of your business.
Well, you know what?
It's a free goddamn country.
New York State has given them carry permits, and they're carrying guns.
No, good. Acidic Jews with guns.
Yeah.
That's going to end well.
Oh, like I said, they're organized. The white people are not organized.
Well, that's not what they saw in Tennessee during the George Floyd riots.
That's different. Tennessee.
They were pretty goddamn organized.
Tennessee is not New York or L.A.
No, that's
or
true.
Chicago.
That's very true.
They're
that's
rednecks,
very true.
they're ridge runners, whatever you want to call them. They are not the average American in the city that lives in suburbia. These are people that make moonshine and they love their guns and they love eating
and they
bacon,
love their fucking country.
And they love eating bacon. And I mean, they stand for what they believe in. But I wouldn't give you 2 cents for people that live in cities, because when it comes down to reality of real survival mode, they have no clue how to do it.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, does Ed eat bacon?
What?
Does Ed eat bacon?
Yes.
Okay, so do you think that the Hasidic Jewish militants that stopped him when he was going to do the job, do you think that that is their main problem with him? Is they took one look at him and they said, this motherfucker eats bacon?
No, he was a German.
He's a German.
Ah.
So is it just the Germans that they hate, or is it anybody who eats bacon?
No, it's just that if you you not look like a Jewish person, you don't belong in a Jewish neighborhood.
Dude, that is so fucking anti-American. I mean, we have freedom of travel, and all of a sudden the government is arming these small militias of Jewish people?
Remember the JDL?
What's
Jewish
that?
Defense League?
No, tell me about that.
That was around the time about the Weathermen. The Jewish Defense League.
Oh, so this is in the 60s, right?
Yeah, this was in the 60s.
Okay, go ahead.
And they were defending the Jewish temples. But they weren't like the Hasidic Jews that wouldn't fight. These were like modern Jews that would fight, like the Polish Jews during World War II against the Nazis.
Who are they defending their temples from?
But at that time, they had a little influx about the Muslims and the so-called white supremacists.
People, they need to get over that shit, man.
Yeah.
I was doing a photography stint for a synagogue, and we were doing a directory for them, and it was a lot of equipment back then. We're talking back in the early 2000s. It was a lot of equipment, so we dropped it off. We had like an 8-foot trailer that we dropped all the equipment off in. And, I mean, we're talking like a 50-pound digital 46mm hybrid camera that's like, it's as big as an old school movie camera.
With a tripod.
And the tripod was motorized. That had because the camera was too heavy. The camera weighed 75 pounds. All right. The tripod weighed 150 pounds. So we had a trailer, an 8-foot trailer that we dropped off in the parking lot of the synagogue the day before we went to go shoot. And the fucking synagogue, as soon as they get there in the morning, they see the trailer and they don't recognize it. So they call the fucking police. They call the police. Who do you think wants to blow you up? Who do you think wants to blow you up? We're here to do a job. Get over yourselves. Who's blowing up Jews?
They have a sense of fear.
They really do.
They've been persecuted all along.
By who? The Nazis? That was 80 years ago.
Yes.
Give it a rest. Come on. I mean, seriously.
But now it's the Muslims that the Muslims don't like the Christians, the Jews, or the Catholics.
Well, listen, nobody likes them either, but I think they got a bad rap. And honestly, I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame because instead of tolerating their presence, which just it promotes their belief, it gets them comfortable. Okay? It gets them comfortable being themselves and hating everybody. Instead of that, what we should be doing is we should be going into their mosques and we should be trying to convert them to Christianity. That way they can fucking integrate into the American lifestyle like everybody else.
No, not integrate, but talk to each other and say, okay, you believe this, I believe that.
Well, they should
Let's
change.
leave it that way.
We need to change their beliefs, man. We need to win hearts and minds. That's the way I see it. If you're gonna be here, you gotta be one of us. Right. I mean, I'm a Satanist. That's as close as you can get to Christianity without being an outright Christian. I'm grandfathered in. They believe something completely different, and they should have to integrate like everybody else.
In the 80s, we had down in Broadheadville a Turkish Muslim set up a camp, their own little town, and they were armed to the teeth.
Okay.
And they were something to do with the Turkish or the Greek government. And this general got chased out of that part of the country, and he came here. He set up his own little commune, and every Saturday you hear gunfire like crazy.
Jesus
and these
Christ.
guys bought tons of ammo.
Jesus Christ!
But they were right in Broadheadville, Pennsylvania.
Who were they buying their ammo from? I'll bet it was the Jews.
I don't know if the Jews or the CIA.
Might have been the CIA. Good point.
But I mean,
we get most of our drugs from the CIA. Everybody knows that. That's a fact.
It was all green box marked U.S. Army.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
The government will supply both ends to meet an agenda.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we all know that most of the violence in America right now is coming from illegal Mexican immigrants because they're all fucking cartel members. They're all fucking criminals. But we know that the CIA is working with the cartel to give them the drugs and the fentanyl and the guns to bring across the border. I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, look what happened.
Goes back to the Contra Wars with General Morton.
There you go. I mean, in Afghanistan, most of what the army was doing was guarding poppy fields because they wanted the heroin to keep coming in. That's how the CIA makes their money.
No, people don't know that.
A lot of people don't know that. And it's fucking scary that people don't know that.
The Golden Triangle in Vietnam.
Exactly.
That's another piece of history.
Well, I know that you discussed this on the podcast before, but it was a long time ago. So remind me what the Golden Triangle is.
Golden Triangle is a section between Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia, and it's where they grow all the poppies. And there was one general that was in charge.
Okay.
And then again, you had Nicky Barnes, who was the head drug guy in Harlem,
right,
go over there because he was in the U.S. Army, and they sent the drugs over in the caskets with the dead soldiers, and they hit Maryland, and they unloaded the drugs there, and it was a big sting operation.
Right.
So when they knocked off Bumpy was the drug dealer in Harlem back in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
And Nicky Barnes took over.
Okay.
And he went to the general to directly deal with the general and buy from him.
Okay.
And like I said, you tell me the CIA didn't know about that. Now, if anybody in the city remembers Nicky Barnes and you're up in Harlem, you know Nicky Barnes.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Okay. All right. So when was this taking place?
About in the 90s.
Okay.
Late 80s, 90s.
Is this the Iran-Contra scandal? Is this what you're talking about?
No, the Contra...
I don't remember ever hearing anything about this.
Well, that was the Golden Triangle.
Right. But I don't remember hearing anything about that in the 90s. I was around. I was here.
Well, the thing is they were still operating, but they were hidden.
When did it come out into the open that this was going on?
Late 70s. After we left Vietnam, it came out.
Oh, okay. I guess I wasn't around in the late 70s.
Well, you missed a good part of history.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, I missed disco. I'm kind of glad I missed disco. But I did have to live through hair metal. That was an annoyance. Hair metal sucked.
Well, that's just, you're going to have your own history in your life.
Yeah.
I have mine.
Mine's the best. My history is the best history.
At least you weren't in the real violence era.
What are you talking about? I lived through the George Floyd riots.
No, the George Floyd was a pinhead compared to some of the stuff.
Give me a fucking break, dude.
No,
go
overseas.
The only time in America we had more violence than during my lifetime in America.
Like George Floyd.
In America is the Civil War. Yeah. After that, it's the George Floyd riots and 9/11, motherfucker, and I lived through both of those. And you weren't around for the Civil War, I don't think. Were you here for the Civil War?
What, the George Floyd thing?
No, the Civil War.
No.
Okay, then we both lived through the most violence ever seen on American soil. We both lived through it.
I wasn't in American soil at the time it was happening. So.
The George Floyd riots? Where were you?
Well, no, I was stuck on this mountain up here.
Oh, okay, so you didn't see any of it?
I was minding my own business.
Dude, it was wild. It was wild. I didn't even know it was going on because I live under a rock, but I was in Philadelphia. Okay. So the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's allowed to work. Nobody's allowed to do anything. So I'm sitting in my apartment like a crazy person, spraying antiseptic over all of my groceries when I get a delivery and then mopping up the puddle that smells like ammonia on my kitchen floor. Okay, so I'm living like a fucking crazy person. And then I was working for a photography company at the time. And they were like, hey, man, we need you to come drop off your equipment. It doesn't look like we're going to be working for a while. I was like, yeah, no problem. So I grabbed my mask. And I grabbed my camera equipment and I ran out to go do it. And for some reason, I didn't notice anything weird on the way to the studio. But frankly, I can be a little oblivious. Maybe I was listening to music. Maybe I was a little drunk. I don't remember. Yes, I do drive drunk, and I'm very good at it. But anyway, so I get to the studio and I'm dropping off my equipment. And my friend, he goes to me, so how you been doing, bro? And I'm like, it's okay, man. You know, I'm getting used to it. So I got to wear a mask. You know, I can't go out. To be perfectly honest, I don't go out much anyway. And he's like, yeah, it's getting pretty wild out there. I said, wait a second. What the fuck are you talking about? He goes, the riots. I said, what riots? He goes, you don't know? And then he shows me like, on the map, like all these buildings right around my apartment that have been burned down and looted. And I'm sitting there like, holy fucking shit.
There's a war around me and I don't even know.
I didn't even, 3 blocks away, dude. 3 blocks away. But you know what? You hear some gunfire in Philadelphia, it's par for the course.
Of course.
You don't pay attention to it.
Right.
So on my way back from the studio to my apartment, now my eyes are open. Boarded up windows, broken glass, light military vehicles, National Guard, machine guns, like heavily armed National Guard. Like, holy shit. Like, all of the Planet Fitness exercise machines were in the parking lot. Like, somebody was trying to steal them, and they got caught, and they left them there. It's like, I couldn't, like, how long has this been going on? So then I hopped on what was Twitter at the time. Bless you. Everybody gets one. And I'm watching videos of this shit, and holy shit, there's a monster truck, like just a truck with really big wheels, like pretty much a legit monster truck.
That's the one that ran over the car?
Runs over a line of cops. There are cops standing shoulder to shoulder across the street to block off the street, and this motherfucker revs his engine and flies through them. Almost killed a 53-year-old female police officer. And the only thing that I'm thinking at this point, when I'm watching this video, I'm horrified, but I'm thinking at least it was a DEI hire, because it was a woman, and she's old, let's be honest. So that's less bad, but it's still pretty bad. And I couldn't believe that all of this stuff was happening, like, right around me. I had no fucking idea. So you were lucky. You were up in a mountain while all this shit was going on? What were you doing?
Setting up the perimeter around the mountain.
What do you mean setting up the perimeter?
Well, we got to put our strategic areas where we're going to have the sniper. We're going to have the...
Wait, what country were you in?
Right here.
Why were you setting up a perimeter with snipers on a mountain?
We were getting ready for them to come up here.
Oh, because you knew that the riots had started. Yep. Oh my! Who were you with? Were you by yourself?
Yeah, there were 6 of us.
Holy shit!
Setting up some fireworks.
Now, what does your little band of merry men call themselves?
No, we don't call ourselves anything.
You don't have a name? What?
We're ghosts. we don't label ourselves. We hide in the background, and just like if they would have came up to Milford, we were ready to go in town.
Yeah.
And
so you guys were like the people in Tennessee. That's right, what you were ready to do. We were
ready to take them down.
Jesus.
Because
Christ.
the store owners would have been there. We would have been there. We weren't going to let them cross the fucking bridge.
Oh my God.
They if they try to get here,
yeah,
they ain't going to get within 6 blocks of us.
Yeah.
Because we got like 3 people between me and the bridge.
Can I ask you a question? You knew. We haven't posted in a while, so I was about to say, you knew the Great White Huntress back then, right?
Yes.
Okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, the Great White Huntress is Talking Heads and my mother, who traded this gentleman the gun that he bought for her, traded it for a compound bow because, according to her, it makes me feel safer and I can still kill a deer with it. If it wasn't going to piss her off so much, I would show you a photo of this woman right now. She ain't killing shit with that. So Harry and I dubbed her the Great White Huntress after that whole story went down. So that's the inside joke. We basically make that joke every single podcast, but we haven't posted in 10 months, so I want to remind everybody. So when you and your band of merry men, the ghosts, we're setting up this perimeter on the mountaintop, you knew the Great White Huntress at that point.
Yeah.
Did she go with you?
No.
Did she want to go with you?
No.
Did you tell her what you were doing?
No, she wasn't prepared or equipped to understand what we were doing.
She would have gotten such a fucking kick out of that. Are you kidding me?
Do you remember?
She would have been all over that shit. You guys wouldn't have had to do anything. She would have cooked for you. She would have went to go get fresh water. She would have set up the tents. Whatever you guys needed, she would have done. As long as you taught her what you were doing, she would have been the most helpful fucking person in the world. You missed an opportunity, and so did she. Yeah. You should have invited her.
But it's just like the day you were drunk and I pulled the 6 flares out of that bucket and that upset you. I mean,
the flares,
Harry,
the flares. So let's tell this story again. Jesus Christ, the flares. So I'm sitting here in the bunker, shit hammered, as one is wont to do. Cheers. And we got this fire, this blazing fire in the wood stove going for hours. I'm watching I'm binge watching BoJack Horseman or some bullshit. Existential crisis, laughing my ass off drunk. And then Harry, you come in and you have this large metal trash can next to the wood burning stove to put the ash in, so you don't have to take it outside every single time. Makes sense. And sometimes there's like lit coals that you put in there. I've noticed that.
Well,
and sometimes there's smoke coming out of the trash can afterward. I got to take it out and dump it. I noticed that. But I had never done that up until this point. I had never done that up until this point. So what happened was you look in the trash can and you realize, I think like you wanted to take it out because it was getting full.
Right.
And you pick it up, and underneath this trash can where you are dumping hot coals right next to the wood-burning stove that's like 1,000,000 degrees. You get too close to it, you burn. You don't even have to fucking touch it. You get too close to it, your skin starts to peel off like that scene in Silent Hill. Okay? And you pick up the thing, and underneath this metal trash can is 6 sticks of dynamite.
No, it wouldn't.
Now, you try to convince me all the time that they're road flares.
Right.
They were fucking dynamite, okay? I don't believe you. I think that it was dynamite, and you're trying to make me feel better. So, I'm drunk. My reaction is, I just lose my shit. I am laughing my fucking ass off, thinking to myself, holy shit, I could have died any time since it got cold outside, and I would have never known why. It would have been like, boom, that's it, black. And I felt, I was like going to myself like, holy shit, I'm living with Hunter S. Thompson. Living with Hunter S. Thompson, like no different. Like Johnny Depp has this story about when he was living with Hunter S. Thompson. I think it's before he did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and he was trying to get his character down, so he's living with him at his house, his compound, basically, in Colorado, I think. And there's Hunter comes down, and he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I need to get something. And he opens up this big wooden barrel next to Johnny Depp's bed. Johnny Depp is in the basement. And he opens up this big wooden barrel next to Johnny Depp's bed, and it's black powder. It's full of black powder. And he gets some of it, he puts it in a cup, and he puts the lid back on. Okay, go, continue as you were. And he goes back upstairs. And Johnny Depp's like, motherfucker, I put my ashtray on that at night. I get drunk down here, and I'm ashing my cigarettes on top of this barrel. It's filled with black powder. You are fucking Hunter S. Thompson. You got 6 sticks of dynamite, road flares, underneath this bullshit. Man, you scare the shit out of me sometimes. And then you go ahead and you always allude to the fact that you got C4 hiding around the compound everywhere. Yeah.
It's outside.
Sorry.
I don't keep it inside the house. You know what's more dangerous than that?
What's more dangerous than
Dead cord.
that? What?
Dead cord is what you put over your head during military training. That's like the fuse.
Yeah.
That's more dangerous.
Why is it more dangerous? It has to be connected to something.
Any spark will set it off.
The cord itself blows up?
The cord itself will burn the tree down.
Oh, so is this that stuff that they used in 9/11?
Terminex.
Yeah, no, that's not the word, but it begins with a T. Hang on, let's
Cortex.
ask. I forgot to bring my Alexa in here.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But
I was going to ask Alexa.
That's why when that people talk about fireworks and they talk about rockets and mortars, this and that don't bother me with that little shit.
Harry,
my son was 13 Mike, and he worked around with those 12-foot missiles with the 350-pound warheads on the missiles.
Harry, you are such a motherfucker.
Right?
You're such a motherfucker. I never mind.
Hey, I'm prepared. I was a Boy Scout. Be prepared.
You were a Boy Scout?
Yeah, a
Jesus
long time
Christ.
ago.
Oh my God, that must have been a joy for them. Were you a renegade in the Boy Scouts as well? I didn't want to say troublemaker because you prefer renegade.
Yeah, well, no, I was not a troublemaker. I didn't become a big troublemaker until I was about 24, 25.
Okay. All right. So listen, one more thing that I want to talk about, and I think that we hit our mark with shit that's going to trigger Talking Head number 5. I think we're well over 30 by now. I've been trying to mentally keep count, but math. So I I think that we're over 30, but I do want to continue with that just to make sure. And I'm going to start with this. First of all, Talking Head number 5, because he didn't get back to me in order to set up the remote for the podcasting so he could join us from Philadelphia remotely. And he didn't bother to tell me that he wasn't going to be able to do it. And he didn't bother to get back in touch with me when I was trying to make sure he was okay when a jet almost flew into his apartment. He is demoted once again to Talking Head number 6. So, Talking Head, you have been demoted from number 5 back to number 6. I apologize, that's the way it is. But aside from that, what I want to talk about, Trump's cabinet candidates. Okay, because this is finally, with this president, what we're seeing is across the board, it's obvious and it's a fact, the elite, the best of the best, unquestionable integrity and competence. So I want to start with you. Who is your favorite cabinet nominee for the Trump administration?
I think it's between the Attorney General and the Border Patrol.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the Attorney General
The Attorney
first.
General's a smart bitch.
Do you remember her name?
No, I don't remember her name.
All right, we can look it up.
They tried to really belittle her, but she is smart, and she was right on the money as far as the lawful legal terms are concerned, and more or less, she was absolutely right, and she wasn't going to play games with them.
So what is she nominated for? What was it again?
Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Then you got Robert Kennedy. That they.
Well, hang on. Let me. So Attorney General is
Pam Bond.
Hang on. Attorney General is
Pam Bond.
Pam. Is it Bondi? Looks like Bondi.
Bondi. Yeah.
Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Why is this not in dark mode? Should be in dark mode. That's irritating. I'm gonna have to figure that out later. So tell me a little bit about Pam Bondi before we go into the next one.
She's a very the constitutionalist.
Because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about her.
I know very little about her, but I like her with what I feel about her.
And what do you feel?
That she's going to do the right job.
Now, do you know anything about her past or
I don't.
What her qualifications are?
No, I know she's well qualified and she's smart, and I get a feel about it.
Well, listen, I mean, most of the times when we don't bother to look too closely at something, but you just have a feeling. I mean, it's called a gut feeling. And I mean, people have this ability for a reason. It's because it's usually right. It's usually right. But so many people turn off their intuition through the overuse of intellect and facts. And I think it's a little disheartening because human beings are basically psychic creatures. And if your gut tells you to go away, I mean, how many times have you decided to follow your gut and you were wrong?
Not too often.
Not too often. It doesn't happen very often.
Unless there was outside forces.
Sure. Which you can't account for.
No.
You can't tell the future.
No.
But usually when your gut tells you something, it's right. So your gut is telling you that this person's
the right job.
Let's see if we can find a picture of her. Let's see. Is this her?
Yeah.
Wow, she's pretty.
She seems to be a tough nut.
That's a pretty lady. A good-looking gal.
Yeah.
How old is she?
I don't know. She's got to be 40. Look at the eyes.
Oh, she's got to be older than that. I'm over 40.
Maybe 50?
Yeah.
Look at the neck.
All right, let's find out. Let's see.
She gave the senators a very hard time. They were going after her. Unbelievable.
She is 59.
My God, she's good 59.
Holy shit, look at her.
Yeah.
That's a hot broad. Damn, 59. Dude, she's obviously had Botox, okay? But
Come on.
no, look, she's got no lines in her forehead. She has no expression, okay? But ask me if I would hit that.
Would you?
Of course I would.
Of course.
1,000%. That's an attractive lady right there. That's a good-looking lady.
Now another one, Robert Kennedy. When they were questioning him and that guy from the Vermont, Bernie.
Now, Robert Kennedy is one of my favorite nominees. So go ahead and tell me your opinion. Go ahead.
He is well informed, and when he nailed the senators that were getting paid off by the pharmaceutical company and the millions of dollars they made off it, he kind of told them, pharmaceutical companies aren't going to buy me off like they did you. And all of a sudden, Bernie Sanders went crazy. Like Pocahontas went crazy.
No, it's an empirical fact that Bernie Sanders is a piece of shit.
Right.
I mean, everybody knows. And he is bought off by every single major corporation more than probably anybody else in the Democratic Party. Or the government.
Yeah, and Pocahontas there, I mean, she goes,
Wait. No, you got to tell people, who do you mean when you say Pocahontas?
That's that Warner thing.
Warner.
Yeah.
The one who
claimed to be an Indian.
She said she was half black, then she said she was an Indian. Yeah.
She don't know what the hell she is.
So you call her Pocahontas?
I can call her Pocahontas. That's what Trump called her.
I have no idea.
She said she made millions of dollars on the pharmacy companies.
Okay. But just like Hillary.
Oh, yeah.
So what does Trump call her?
Trump called her Pocahontas.
Oh, so you got that from Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And the guy from the Border Show, I watched him speak. He means what he says, and he is going to clean up the border and enforce.
Well, let's talk. But let's talk about RFK for a second, because you brought up RFK.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you like about RFK?
He's got the courage to speak his mind.
He's not bought off by the pharmaceutical companies, right?
And should he remember the legacy of his family of being killed off by entities somewhere? He hasn't backed down.
Well, dude, did you see that Trump ordered the declassification of all his documents?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Wait till that happens.
Oh my God!
And you're gonna find out you've been lied to for at least 80 years.
Yep.
And now, what are the American people going to do when they find out they've been lied to? And most of the people are dead now.
Yeah.
So what could you possibly do?
No, you can't. So here's what's going to happen. The American public is going to go, oh my God, our government lied to us. But it was a long time ago. I'm sure it's better now. Instead of thinking, if they lied to us like that back then, maybe also Vietnam, maybe also 9/11, maybe also Iraq,
Contra War.
The Contra War, maybe also Afghanistan, and maybe also the Ukraine. Maybe, or they used to lie, but now they're good guys.
No, I would take it with a grain of salt. And they say half the money from the Ukrainian war went back into the Democratic Party.
I have no doubt. I heard that. I'm pretty sure that's a fact. I'm 100% sure that's a fact.
How to trace it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's politics.
Yeah. So let me say this, and I'm gonna try to get around YouTube's censoring algorithm so this video doesn't get taken off. But I have a few things to say about RFK. And I was thinking about how to do this so that this video doesn't get taken down. So let me try this. Okay. And I think that if you listen to what I'm saying, you will understand what I'm saying. But I'm going to say it in a way that's gonna not get this video taken off. Okay? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, First of all, I am a trans man. I am a trans man, and let me tell you something. There are people, foolish people, who believe that the vaccines were manipulated by somebody called William Gates. And there are microchips in the vaccine. Some people believe that, some very foolish people. Now, in other news, it has been proven that Big Bird is actually a real creature. Zoological specimen that Sesame Street found and captured and modeled their puppet after. Now, I think that when RFK finally gets sworn in, the first thing that he's going to find out is that nonsense I spoke about before is 1,000% true, and I am a trans man that is saying all of this. Let's see if this video gets taken down.
Well, but
Do you understand what I said, though?
yeah, I understand.
You got it?
You don't want to insult them,
You got it?
and it's sort of a little political, but it's your thought.
You got it?
It's not a fact.
So the CIA finally admitted that COVID was a lab leak. The CIA finally said yes. Okay. Well, hey, listen, a long time ago, not too long ago, if you said that online, you got canceled.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you were making your living online, you got canceled.
Oh,
Even if you speculated about it, you got your channel or your Facebook profile or your Twitter profile removed, taken down.
Now let's go back to the 70s with Dr. Fauci with the AIDS virus. And
RFK wrote that book, The Real Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this. There's an interview, and we're going to take a quick pause. I'm going to put up this video where this woman is going to interview Anthony Fauci during the tail end of the pandemic. And she actually says, all right, this woman who looks like this woman here, okay? She's a very attractive journalist, and she actually says to Anthony Fauci, she goes, "Is it wrong that I kind of think you're a little sexy?" Okay, now, how is that not fucking propaganda? We're supposed to believe that this 4'7" little Italian guy is sexy? That's what we're supposed to believe? Why? Because he helps so many people? Of course, he's totally selfish. What an altruist this guy is, okay? And then you read RFK's book, The Real Anthony Fauci, all of it's 100% true. If you do your own research, I didn't bother because I'm assuming that anybody who did their research, if any of it was false, he would have been sued already. So obviously all of it has to be true because he's not being sued. So, I mean, this motherfucker. So it's really interesting to me that, Anthony Fauci they're going to try to push him as a fucking sex symbol during the pandemic after everything that he did during the AIDS crisis. But nobody is talking about how sexy Donald Trump is. This guy's got balls the size of this fucking skull right here. Okay? Put two side by side. I don't understand how he wears pants. What's sexier than having balls? Nobody's going to interview Donald Trump and say, "Is it wrong if I think you're a little sexy?" Nobody's going to say that to him? Give me a fucking break. Tell me that's objective journalism.
Well, Fauci looks like an old Italian skeleton.
Dude, the guy's like 4'7".
Yeah.
He's got a schnoz like
Timmy Durante.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Or Jesus Christ. Or kind of like Nixon. Like his nose is kind of Nixon-y, isn't it?
Maybe he's Jewish and Italian.
Was Nixon Jewish?
No, Fauci.
Oh, Fauci.
Maybe there's a little Jew in Fauci.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something I am not going to touch, but we're going to put another ringer up because, even though you said it, I'm sure it'll get under Talking Head skin a little bit.
So as long as you're true to yourself, that's all that matters in life.
Now listen, all I have to say about the Jews is militant Hasidic Jews keeping your friend from going to work that the government is arming. Obviously, that's dangerous for everybody. They think they're God's chosen people. They already think they're better than everybody else. And now you're going to arm them so they can protect their own neighborhood?
Yep.
What the fuck? Is this America or not? Jesus Christ. I don't know, dude. I don't get it. I think Donald Trump is way sexier than Anthony Fauci. That's all I'm saying.
I think he's a lot healthier looking than Fauci.
Yeah, despite all the cheeseburgers and the Adderall he's on.
And I know,
he's doing good.
I know Robert Kennedy is a lot healthier than that health doctor, that PA, that cross-dressing Admiral.
The guy that was caught stealing clothes from the airport.
I mean, Robert Kennedy is a lot healthier than that big old flat whale that they got for the health officer for Pennsylvania.
It's always funny to me when somebody's in Health and Human Services and they're out of shape. Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I would never even go for that job because I'm out of shape. I should not be telling you how to be healthy. It doesn't make any sense. It's like a priest giving you marital advice, and in theory, other than the little boys they diddle, they're supposed to be virgins. Doesn't make any sense. Why are you having a 40-year-old virgin give you marital advice? Like, so why are you having a big fat fuck tell you how to get healthy? Tell me that makes sense. Doesn't.
Nope.
It doesn't. So RFK, my favorite guy other than Elon Musk. Woo! Tell me what you think about this guy.
Elon Musk is a very inventive, thinking out of the box person. He's not extremely...
Well, dude, he basically invented the electric car.
Right.
I mean, on top of everything else that he's been doing, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
He's very practical. College degrees don't make you smart or intelligent. You could be an idiot with a degree.
Sure, but he's not. He's not.
The farmer is smarter than someone coming out of college, because the farmer knows how to weld, fix his car, build a house, do this.
Wait a second. Did Elon Musk not go to college?
I don't know if he went to college.
So why are you going on this rant about college?
Well, most college-bred people, they don't have a lot of common sense.
Right.
Elon Musk has a lot of common sense, and he finds the right people to do the right job at the right time.
A shitload of common sense.
Because he can't do it.
Absolutely. Well, if he can't do it, I'm pretty sure that, I mean, dude, the guy's a genius. Right. All right? They tested him, and he has the highest IQ of any human being that's ever lived, ever. Okay, so I'm pretty sure if he put his mind to it, he could do most things.
Anything.
But there's only so many hours in the day, and he's very good at picking out people to delegate to.
Picking out the right people
exactly.
To do the job, like Ross Perot did for his business.
Right.
All right, you pick the right people, you put them in the right position, you're going to be successful.
Right.
I mean, there's some things some people could do and some things they can't do. So we all can't be an expert in everything.
Now, did you hear that they find the Secretary of the Treasury finally opened up the books for Elon Musk's Doge program, and they found an intricate money laundering scheme that leads directly back to the Biden family. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
They made the connection, and
And before the guy finally relented and opened up the books and let Elon Musk and his team in, he vacated the premises. He quit and he ran away because he knew what they were going to find. He knew what they were going to find.
So why don't he FBI or go after and nail this guy.
Because the FBI is weaponized against Trump right now. He has to overhaul that shit first before he goes after the Biden family.
The system's against Trump and anything Trump does.
Absolutely. I hope that after he overhauls the Department of Justice and the FBI, he finally puts the Clintons in jail. He finally puts Obama in jail because, let's face it, he was not born in this country. And he finally gets that fucking mouth breather Biden and his fucking drug addict son in jail too. I mean, Jesus Christ, how much more proof do we need? They found a money laundering scheme underneath the Department of the Treasury. I mean, that's crazy. What else do we need? Put him in jail.
Well, if you did what Biden's son did, you'd be in handcuffs now, sitting in some federal prison on some gun charge.
No shit. No, well, I don't have daddy to pardon me after he said he wasn't going to. After everybody on mainstream media said, Biden believes, this administration believes in law and order. He's not going to do any pardons, not like Trump did. Oh, look, the most pardons of any president in U.S. history. The weirdest pardons. Pardons against people who have not even been accused of crimes. Pardons that are written that say, I pardon them for any crimes they may have done or could do in the future. I'm pretty sure if you're the president, you can't pardon people for shit that they could do in the future. Otherwise, you're giving people a blank check to go do whatever the fuck they want. You can't get away with that. Give me a fucking break.
Well, there'd be thought police. If they think you're going to commit a crime, they had a movie about that. What
are you talking about? Braveheart?
No, we're talking about Judge with Stallone.
You're talking about Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you thought you were going to do a crime, so they arrested you.
No, it was over the top. Over the top.
Unless you got a crime, you got to have the proof.
Right.
And there's enough proof, and they pardon people that skimmed millions of dollars out of the American people. Yeah. From the IRS, the charitable organizations, they stole millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they had other organizations that they skimmed out of that, some kind of banking thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Destroyed more
They're
people.
all pardons. I think if I remember correctly, he pardoned like 80,000 people. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. You can put it at like a 0.06 average percent of the entire American population that got pardoned by fucking Biden. It's just like anybody who did anything while I was in office, you're good. Unless you're poor. If you're poor, fuck you.
Right.
But if you're rich, yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Except, of course, for the January 6 people, they didn't get pardoned until Trump came in. You know, because fuck them. They're poor.
Well, they misapplied the federal law against them.
Exactly.
They overextended the law that didn't exist.
Exactly.
I mean, trespassing is one thing, destruction of property, but sedition?
Yeah.
Where are we, in 1700?
Yeah.
Does England still own this country? Sedition?
Right.
That goes back to old England.
No, it's pretty. Tucker Carlson's a fucking saint. I mean, when he got that footage and he showed it to everybody, the cops are basically giving him a tour of the Capitol building. I mean, that opened up a lot of people's eyes. That really did.
No, they thought that they only believed the media. Unless you were down there to actually see it, you wouldn't believe it.
Now, what do you think of Tulsi Gabbard as head of intelligence? I think that's a phenomenal pick. What do you think?
Well, who's that? What position?
Tulsi Gabbard, I think she was the senator from North Dakota or something. Anyway, she used to point that the important thing is that she used to be a Democrat and she got fed up with their bullshit, and now she says that she's independent. But I mean, if you look at her, now with everything that she says is logical, empirically accurate, and she follows her gut. So she's a dyed-in-the-wool Republican. You know what I mean?
Well, if she does right, I'm all for it, because we got to straighten this country out.
And head of intelligence is such an important position because, and we're going to find out when the JFK papers finally get released, the intelligence agencies have been fucking this country up for a very long time. When everybody talks about the deep state, what they are talking about are people in positions of extreme power who do not get elected. They get appointed. And that's why JFK got killed, as I'm sure you know, is because he threatened to clean house against the CIA and he threatened to overthrow the Federal Reserve.
Yep.
And that's the deep state right there. The intelligence agencies and the Federal Reserve, that's the deep state. I mean, that's the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more organizations.
But too many people sleeping in this country.
Yeah. And they think it actually matters who you vote for. And let me tell you something. In our lifetimes, this is probably the only election that mattered. He's actually going to clean house, and he's already doing a fucking great job. Now, let me ask you another question. What do you think about the tariffs?
The tariff?
The tariffs against Canada, Mexico, China. Now he's threatening the European Union. What do you think about that?
The tariff is good because it was beginning of the Constitution. We did not have income tax. We had tariffs that we used back then on the original Constitution.
Right.
All right. It was to run the country. And it ran the country from 1789 all the way to 1913.
Right.
We gave our rights away, or Congress gave our rights away, to the bankers, the international bankers, the cartel of the bankers. And they've been running it since 1913 to now. And they have imprisoned and made us economic slaves.
Right.
If we ran on tariffs and we dealt fairly with other countries as far as tariffs are concerned, we wouldn't have a poor state of people.
Well, not only that, we wouldn't have such a trade deficit, right, and it would bring jobs back to the continental U.S.
But why did a lot of American companies run to other countries? Because they were given tax breaks. And like I said, it's the question of we want American goods. We could do all goods with no problem. Other countries, we gave them. We aided them.
We have everything in this country that we need.
Right.
We don't need anything from anybody else.
No. But we could supply the countries. We fed the world in World War II.
Right.
They delete our military strength. We sell military equipment around the world. And the thing is, the tariffs will bring the prices up for the time being until it levels off to a point where everyone says, okay, we can't take advantage of America no more.
We have such a huge trade deficit with Canada, Mexico, China especially. And then the European Union too. I think the European Union, our trade deficit with them is over $400 billion a year.
Wasn't that NAFTA they had back in 94 with Bill Clinton?
Right.
All right, and then you had another...
And I think that NAFTA stands for, if Family Guy led me correctly, NAFTA stands for Another Afternoon of Tapping That Ass. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
And you had something past that too. But you know
Either
what?
that or the North American Trade Agreement. One or the other.
North American Trade Agreement.
Okay.
But it's all on treaties. Now, as far as Canada is concerned, okay, I remember in the 70s when Canada's money was only worth 3/4 of our money. $1 American, 75 cents Canadian money.
Right.
But now they're about equal.
Right.
Now China's trying to take the yen, become the world's currency, and take us down.
Oh yeah, China wants all the world's oil trade to be done on their currency,
right?
Which would destroy us, absolutely destroy us.
But how much money does other nations owe us?
I don't know. We're in such a trade deficit with everybody else. I'm pretty sure we owe more than they owe us.
Right. Now
we're $26 trillion in debt.
Now, where does money come from?
Well, I think we established in the last podcast that it grows on the tree of knowledge.
Right. Or it's printed out of thin air.
Either that.
Either way. So, do we live in the land of Oz?
Who's behind the curtain?
Who's the wizard?
I'm behind the curtain?
Oh, maybe. Ooh. But I gotta find Toto to open the curtain and show you who it is. I don't know.
Harry, I'm gonna say this one time and one time only, and I'll probably edit this out, because I did laugh it off as a joke. If you ever place the New World Order in jeopardy again by telling our secrets, I and the rest of my reptilian overlords will destroy you.
Come on.
You motherfucker. Or I'll just vaporize you with a Jewish space laser.
Oh.
One or the other.
Oh, what? Speaking of lasers, let's talk about the fires that's been going on.
I was going to end right there. You want to go into California? We can do that.
Yeah, we're going to California, but the thing is, they all know about it.
Yeah.
And
well, listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene educated the American public that this is obviously a conspiracy to get people off of highly valuable land. That way, it can be
smart cities.
What do you call it? When you build houses. What do you call people who are in that business? What do they do?
Gentrification?
No. LA's already rich.
Right.
No, I'm talking about the people who build houses. What do they? And they build communities and develop so that the land can be redeveloped and resold and retaxed.
Right.
And she showed us beyond the shadow of a doubt that they're using laser beams from space, that the New World Order, along with our Jewish allies, own, and we're making a bunch of money off it. So, I mean, the cat's out of the bag there. We don't have to hide that. We don't have to hide that.
Okay.
So I already have my eye on a few plots in LA just for my own private use that I hope the New World Order will parcel out to me because I do such a great job for them.
Oh, is it going to be close to the high-speed railroad that Pelosi's going to build?
No.
No?
I don't want to be next to a high-speed railroad.
Okay.
No, but I'm going to have a nice home and a couple more. And then her high-speed railroad will be, a ways away so I don't have to fucking see it or hear it. And she'll have a railroad, and we'll all be happy.
Good.
Yeah.
By the way, the 300,000-watt laser rifle is almost completed.
Oh, the guy that you have building you?
Yeah, he's almost completed on that. But I gotta find a good...
Dude, how long ago did you commission this? Like, this was a while ago.
About a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, I was still here before I left for New Jersey.
And we gotta find a place to test it.
Oh, my God. Oh, we need to test it on the show. Absolutely. We got to record
we'll burn this house down with that.
Outside.
I mean, you think the laser went wrong in your hand?
Outside.
We'll go outside. We'll go to the rifle range and we'll burn the target up.
I don't recommend that. I say we do it in the backyard. That way, and we'll have a fire extinguisher right there, and we're just gonna Hunter S. Thompson this shit. You know what I mean? Just do it in the backyard. Nobody's around here. Nobody's around. We'll just do it in the backyard. We'll see how well it works. I don't want to take it to a rifle range. They're going to fucking report us or something.
Well, I know some spots in the forest that's quiet.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Okay.
A little quarry pit.
Yeah, but we got to get it on video. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we got to put it on the show. I want to see that. So how much more powerful is this than the... And I'll pause for a second so we can put this video up, if I can find it. Wait till you see this shit. So this is a miniature direct energy weapon that Tesla invented. It's called a laser beam. Thank you, Austin Powers. And this does damage, dude. You ready?
Sure.
All right.
Do not put that in my eye. I will. Ow, that's actually pretty hot.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
Did it actually hurt?
Yeah, it's at the start of getting warm, yeah.
Holy shit. All right, I want to try it. Oh my God. Holy shit, that got really hot. I felt it right away.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dude, this is the real thing. They put this in my swag bag.
I swear to God, if I have a spot on my head later, I'm going to...
You're definitely going to have a spot on your head. Oh my God.
We're talking 300,000 watts.
Yeah, but how many times more powerful is this that we're going to get than the one that we showed in the video?
Well, I only got 100,000 watts.
So that was 100,000 watts?
Mine
the one
was
from the video?
100,000 watts. This is 3 times that.
So 300,000 watts. Jesus Christ, this could burn a hole in your head. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Start our own assassination team.
Ooh.
No noise.
No noise. A lot of light, but no noise. Yeah.
And this is not even close to what some of the military's got.
Yeah. Oh, well, dude, we just burnt down LA. You think I don't know that? Obviously I know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
they didn't let me push the button for the Los Angeles fires, the Palisades. I didn't get to push the button. But I did know about it in advance, and to everybody in LA, hey, we could have done with some warning. That's not the way this works. Okay? So, hey, hopefully you got your pets out in time. Otherwise, fuck off. I don't know what to tell you. Is what it is. Is what it is. Is what it is. And also, you're not going to get any compensation from the government or the New World Order. Look at what happened in Hawaii. You're just not going to get anything. Okay? You might get like $1,000 because you're rich. All the people in Hawaii, we gave $700. That's enough. You know, we might, I don't know, maybe $1,500. Okay? And whatever you get, you should be happy with because we don't owe you anything. Okay? So just fucking deal with it. That's all I have to say about that. Is there anything else you want to say about the fires?
No, I want the other guy here.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that we got over 30 triggers, but when I edit this and I put the countdown on the screen, it's going to be pretty fun. I think I'm going to do like a graphic where his face gets like really red
maybe we could
and he looks angry.
Maybe we could unhinge some of his democratic leftist ideas out of his head and see, we told you.
I'm pretty sure that if he watches this podcast, it will have exactly the opposite effect on him. And I gotta tell you, I don't know. He might not even see that this episode is up. I don't think he's subscribed. I mean, he's one of the hosts, and I'm pretty sure he is not subscribed to this channel. I'm pretty sure he's ashamed of what we do here, and he just kind of comes along and helps us out with it because he's a nice guy. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, I don't think he likes what we do.
Oh, whatever. So to the American people, wake up, we're back!
Motherfuckers, welcome to the New World Order! All right. Anything else, Harry?
No.
All right. Thank you very much for watching the New World Order. And just remember, we're watching you too.
Someone is watching. There are strange